And she's already made one person switch to being completely bi virtue of...
And that was the day that we knew the podcast would really go places. Welcome to The Breakup, the podcast about destroying the things you love by giving them away. I'm Sam Young.
And I'm your co-host, Jacob Waskow.
Indeed you are. We have returned from the gauntlet.
We are back to the two-person format that you hate and we love. We're finally back, baby.
We are back to this poisonous folie à deux.
And already we're going to open with a punishment.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
We are.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it.
Nope.
I couldn't take the silence anymore. I couldn't take the way the deafening quiet that would fill our lives as we silently watched our respective assignments, listening to the silence.
Every time I brought it up, he'd just kind of
just pout,
avert his eyes, or loudly declare how he wasn't allowed to talk about things. Till one day...
One night, I'm standing alone in a kitchen, and this smug piece of shit, he turned to look at me with that eye, that one unblinking eye, and he would say to me, "So what do you think? You enjoy?"
No, that is not what... No, hang on. Whoa. I said I was done Barkley. And
I think you asked me something innocuous like how my day was.
Yes, okay, that's right. Sorry.
To which I turned to you and said, I fucking hate it. I 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 hate it. And you laughed.
I did laugh. So it's my turn to go first, I think.
Yeah, I guess it fucking is.
So, Jacob, what did you make me?
I made you watch /
You could let me finish the sentence. Sure, okay.
No, fine. All right, go.
Jacob,
go.
What did you make me watch this week?
I made you watch the Super Best Friends Let's Play of Charles Barkley's Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, which I think combined is the longest title we've had on the show.
I will have to check the records on that, but you may actually be right.
Yeah.
Especially because it's two best friends play Barkley, Shut Up and Jam. Yeah, okay, I think you're right. So to summarize this interesting mixed media that I was viewing this week.
Describe the plot of Two Best Friends Play.
Okay, the plot of Two Best Friends Play is two best friends play video games. That's kind of it. Their names are Pat and Liam, or at least in this configuration.
They're from Montreal.
They are from Montreal. And then the game they're playing, much like The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, defies explanation. I will give my damnedest to describe what the fuck this is.
Describe the premise. Not the plot, the inciting incident.
Space Jam? Space Jam is the inciting incident. I'm not wrong. Okay. Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden is a...
Hey, it's canon.
It is canon.
We have to open up
that's right. We have to start with that.
It's canon.
It's canon. Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden is canon and is a RPG Maker game that takes tons and tons of sprites from other RPG games and kind of mushes them all together into a video game about former basketball champ Charles Barkley living in the cyber apocalypse where he has to do
that
battle
he supposedly started
that he caused by doing the chaos dunk. If you think that that's me trolling like we often do in these descriptions, really
no, actually, so far this has been pretty accurate.
Yeah, and he has to fight off the forces of something called Blood Moses and Michael Jordan, who has become evil since the events of Space Jam, which are canon, to Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden.
He's also wearing like a zoot suit or something.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's got like the trilby.
I really
going on.
wanted to know what the actual sprite was
Yeah.
that picture is. And his
he
his
also-
son. Now here's the thing though. Much like Star Wars is about Anakin Skywalker, not Luke Skywalker, the series that this will one day be, supposedly, is actually about Hoops Barkley, the son of Charles Barkley, who was born from a basketball-shaped egg from his mother, Maureen, who is a very important character and builds up to one of the best jokes I've ever seen in a video game. It's so basically.
Where are the
it's
jokes
just-
here, Sam?
what
You're
are
just
the
being
jokes?
accurate.
I know.
What the hell?
Okay, let me put it this way. I had a similar arc that Liam and Pat did, where I was like, "This game kind of sucks. This is stupid. This joke is kind of dumb." Oh no, it's actually all right. I'm kind of getting into this. It's kind of cute. And then like, oh no, this is a really good RPG.
I think it's around the point where Michael Jordan infects Hoops Barkley
With diabetes.
No, with super diabetes.
Super diabetes.
That's the whole point, and they
Yes.
have to go to the ruined Statue of Liberty to find Wilfred Brimley, who has taken all of the diabetes into himself as a serious Christ analog.
But here's the thing. I'm trying not to think of it as like me just talking about the video game. I've got to talk about the Let's Play too. Like there's two layers that I have to approach. And I have to say that I thoroughly enjoyed listening to these two guys play this video game, which made me very upset because now none of them are friends anymore.
Well, those two in particular.
Yeah, those two in particular are not friends anymore.
are not friends anymore.
Which made me very sad.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to throw shade on people who are infinitely more successful Canadians than us.
People can look up the
Yeah.
saga of Super Best Friends.
I mean, I had already introduced you to great Canadian Wooly Madden.
yes.
That
We've talked
sweet
about Willy
boy.
before, yeah.
Yeah.
I just realized not only did we do 2 Let's Plays this week, we did 2 Canadian Let's Plays this week.
Yeah, we did.
That's weird.
That's great. We're going back to that Canadian media roots.
Get that CanCon.
Yeah, all that incestuous goodness.
Sweet, sweet CanCon money. So, let me ask you then, why do you like this piece of shit? And I am talking specifically about the Let's Play of
All right.
Barkley, Shut Up, John
So I had been told about Forever Banished from the Podcast.
Oh, yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
About Charles Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. To which I went, that sounds amazing. Tell me more.
Yeah.
But I also wasn't ready to play a JRPG in my life.
Yeah.
Longtime listeners of the show will realize I fucking hate JRPGs.
Yeah. The irony of that, just let that float.
Yeah,
there
let
for a
that
minute.
sink in. And I just decided that I like Super Best Friends. They won me over with a Let's Play that I'm going to recommend to Sam just outside of the purview of the podcast because I think he'll like it. Because Wooly and Pat,
Oh, okay.
they did a Let's Play of the I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream video
Oh,
game.
really?
And it's really interesting.
And they are actually still friends.
Yes, and
So,
they
there
still
you
have
go.
a relatively successful podcast, Castle Super Beast. But that Let's Play was really good. I was like, well, I like Pat. I shouldn't, but I like Pat. I don't know about this Liam guy. He seems to be a weeaboo. I can respect that. Let's see how these two work together.
I find nothing similar to myself in this.
Well, Liam is more saccharine than me.
Perhaps,
Liam
yeah.
is earnest.
Yeah.
Liam is a sweet boy who I think is like 1 year older than me.
Yeah, he's the baby of the bunch.
Yeah. And
I went into a lot of
Yeah.
deep super best
and
friends
he's
lore
just
on this one.
delightful and earnest and has to deal with all of Pat's bullshit. Much like another podcast that
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
think of at the top of my head. And their dynamic really lets you go through that entire video game as you sort of explore and see all of it together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, along with those two sort of companions, you get to
Yeah.
see this amazing cast of characters like Vince Borg,
Yes, Vince Borg.
Hoops Barkley and Charles Barkley,
Balthios.
Balthios, who is the great grandson of someone.
LeBron James.
Yeah, LeBron James.
who is a Zauber mystic,
Yeah, a Zauber mystic.
which means magic in German, so he's a magic mystic or something.
But he has a sword, which is the Zauber.
Zauber, yeah.
Yeah. And also Cyberdwarf.
Yes, my favorite character.
Yeah, we need to talk about Cyberdwarf for a bit.
Cyberdwarf.
Including the very long and protracted dating minigame that is in the middle of your JRPG.
Yeah.
Which I think includes one of my favorite jokes, which is a real throwaway and cheap gag, because those are my favorite, of when you are starting the dating sim as Cyberdwarf,
Yeah.
the guy at the...
At the door, effectively.
Well, it's to meet women basketball players.
Yeah.
Which is the whole thing, because you're in the realm of
You are in the
ascended basketball
yeah.
players.
You're in basketball heaven.
And he will ask you...
Man, you are wondering what the hell this game is,
Yeah.
sweet listener, and I can't really explain
It's a
it to
lot.
you. You have to experience
You
it.
kind of have to experience it. And he will ask you, what are you interested in a partner? And one of the legitimate options is apple bottoms only. That's all I want, apple bottoms.
I thought that Cyberdwarf just says that. I don't.
It's an option.
Oh, is it an option?
Yeah,
oh,
I
okay.
think so. It is the only option.
Ah,
There are other options.
I see.
Which are wrong. You want an apple bottom.
yeah.
I don't think I've accurately explained why
Yeah, why do you like this?
I've just explained more about it.
Yeah.
A great man once said, you can make a good movie out of anything. An even better man once said, come on and slam and welcome to the jam.
Yep.
This turns a very so-so movie called Space Jam into, I think, one of the greatest cultural touchstones of the aughts.
Yeah. Okay. So let me break it down.
This
for
is
you.
transcending.
Yeah.
This game.
Well, let me break it down for you. It's interesting that it is based on Space Jam because it has basically nothing to do with Space Jam.
The Monstars are in it.
The Monstars are in it for
and
half a second.
Charles Barkley is in Space Jam.
He is, and the ultimate b-ball is also in Space Jam. I think no, okay.
Sort of.
Well, technically, they're in a basketball.
It's that there is a basketball in Space Jam.
Yeah.
You've never seen this movie, so I actually have to explain this to you. In the movie Space...
I know they take all their abilities and they put them in a basketball.
Yeah, and they take them into a basketball.
No, I followed that much.
Yeah, and that is not the ultimate b-ball, I think, but it is a plot point throughout Shep and Jam Gaiden.
Yeah, so I'll break it down for you. I liked the Let's Play a lot, and I thought the game, like I said, it's a lot of fun. I don't quite get the idolatry of it, because I do have some issues with it.
Okay.
I do like the game. I think it's really clever and fun, and it does look kind of fun to play.
What's wrong with it, Heretic?
I think the humor, being 10 years old, has not dated very well. It's a lot of, Wilford Brimley is a big part of it, and that joke is still kind of in the cultural currency, but
barely.
Pretty old.
Yes, it's not dated well.
And it also has a certain kind of late 2000s humor that is just verging on being racist. Like, they refer to one of the characters as an octoroon several times, which is like weird ancient racist speak for someone who has a small amount of black heritage. Also, I don't know why the currency of the game is neo shekels, but I kept thinking it was some sort of the Jews control the world joke.
Also, the Stars of David.
The Stars of David, yeah. And that it's called Blood Moses, which they never explain. So Blood Moses is written as an acronym, but they never tell you what it represents. I think the joke is JRPGs do that. They don't explain that sort of thing. Also, the word fate keeps being written in uppercase and periods. So, yeah, my biggest fault with it is the humor is dated, and it's a little bit
4chan humor.
Not even 4chan humor. I'm thinking something awful around exactly when it came out, turn of the 2000s, which didn't detract that much from me, but I definitely I felt it when it I really felt it when they meet Ghost Dad and Dr. Cosby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, yep.
That's not aged well.
Nope. That has not aged well. I had to look it up because I thought, is there going to be a joke about that? How old is this game? And no, both Ghost Dad and Dr. Cosby are treated in a relatively positive light. which that's fine. Like from back in the 2000s, nobody knew about that, but it still was kind of uncomfortable.
Well, as Hannibal Buress actually pointed out, everyone knew about it, and then everyone just kind of forgot.
Well,
about
yeah,
it.
well, everyone, yeah, a lot of Hollywood people knew about it, and then it was just like swept under the table. And they suppressed. Anyway, we're not. The Cosby scandal is not the purview of the breakup.
Maybe it should be. Ever think of that?
Did I ever think of that? I fucked up that line.
You want to take it from the top?
No, that's fine. So yeah, I liked it a lot. I enjoyed Pat and Liam taking me through this weird magical mystery tour. Oh, I have to talk about the best joke in the game, which I didn't quite realize how good it was until I really thought about it. All right. So throughout the game, Barkley keeps talking about how his wife has died.
Yes.
And how deeply hurt by this he is, and that he's never going to get over it. He can't even like be with another woman.
Yeah.
And that he couldn't hurt her that way by moving on.
Yeah.
And they've built it up and built it up and built it up. And they haven't been like making fun of it at all. It's just been a really important part of his character.
Yeah.
And they get to the final dungeon where each of the characters is tempted by their greatest weakness. And so for Cyberdwarf, it's we didn't explain Okay, so quick digression. Cyberdwarf is a dwarf who was in he's a space alien who was in a horrible accident where his skin got burned off, and so now he is covered in basketball leather.
His head is basketball leather, which he's really ashamed about, except Balthios does point out that in many cultures that would be attractive.
Yes. So his temptation is there is skin for him, that he could go back to being a regular dwarf. And then Balthios's temptation is like a big library of books about Zaubers.
Yeah, like the ultimate, all of the knowledge.
Yeah. And, they both reject it because they're good. And Hoops doesn't get anything. He just flips the switch because they've all got to like move forward in the dungeon. And then Barkley goes there and you're thinking, okay.
It's going to be...
So it's got to be Maureen, right? Like that's got to be the trick. And he gets in there and there's nothing there. And he walks towards this switch he has to flip. And all of a sudden, a bunch of gold appears. And it's Incan gold.
Ancient Incan gold.
And there's like an evil voice that says, you could take it, Barkley. You could take the Incan gold and be rich beyond your wildest dreams. And he's like, okay. And he goes up to it and he just does it. And this releases this evil god that will go into the sequel, but we'll get to that. It's such a non moment. But after you think about it, it's just one of the best gags, like one of the best setups I've ever seen.
Well, basically, the entire plot of this game is you think, oh, Charles Barkley is this tragic
he's this tragic hero,
Yeah, but the entire, spoilers, the ending of the game is you fight Shadow Barkley.
Shadow Barkley,
who has two forms as Barkley, Winged Angel God, and
one
Barkley's
winged
head on a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Devil T-Rex.
Yeah.
But you realize that he was just always kind of a terrible person.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about anyone. This isn't like, oh, I'm not helping people because I've been hurt before. No, he's just kind of a prick.
Kind of sucks, yeah.
Yeah,
he's an actual anti-hero. He doesn't want to do good things.
Yeah, he's just a massive asshole.
Yeah.
But he does care about his son. That's it.
What this game is most successful at is being a parody of JRPGs. I don't think you could find a better parody of the nonsense that is in JRPGs.
We also need to talk about the save points now.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But it's really, really clever about how to make the plot both interesting and compelling, but also a whole load of horseshit.
Yeah.
And I kind of loved that. So yeah, we should talk about the save points. The save points are this animated gas pump that you go up to, and he will rant at you about what he refers to as vidcons, which is his way of saying video console game.
Well, video games.
Yeah, video games on consoles. And he's very like the standard weeaboo. Like he's
to add to the meta point you were discussing, just like to be true to the send-up of JRPGs.
Yeah.
Here is a living embodiment of 4chan, something awful anime fans defending their...
It gets pretty dark, too, as it goes along. Although, I'm not sure if it's all the dialogue or some of the dialogue, but when you go into the sewer level, those are real forum posts.
Yeah.
Which is kind of amazing.
But the great reveal of who was the one actually writing them is incredible, because it's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It's revealed right at the end that Michael Jordan had given up basketball after it was outlawed for anime. And in his craziness... was the one responsible for all your save points because he wanted to lose.
Although it's funny because the pump does seem to have personality.
I don't know. Like Vince Borg has a personality.
That's true.
There is robots. I don't know. The only reason I can think why they're gas pumps is that it's like forum gaslighting.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Oh, it's like Flame Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it. The nice payoff actually with the save point is that, which Liam and Pat fail to do, there's a quiz right at the last save point about all the things he's been saying to you, and if you get it right, he gives you something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
It's a journey, isn't it?
It is a journey.
It's a problematic but beautiful journey.
Yeah. Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think the sequel will ever come out?
Well, they made a promise.
Mm-hmm.
They made a promise.
They made a promise.
And the release date is still set for 2023.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, they are still working on it.
Yeah.
Literally every time anyone asks, they say, we're still working.
Yeah.
They had a Kickstarter. They made $100,000 or something. And that pretty much dried up almost instantly to have people working full time on this game.
Because they've made other games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want this to just be about Barkley, but some of the promises they made for the sequel are fucking ridiculous and a massive time sinks.
Yeah.
So I think the latest thing they talked about is they've added an entire fishing mini game to it.
Yeah.
The menus are seed generated,
Which for a layman,
randomly look and behave differently every time you open them up. They have a 3x3 morality spectrum for hoops.
who will be the protagonist of this
Who
game.
will be the protagonist of this game. Also, far less basketball in this sequel. It's a
I feel like that loses some of the charm.
a bit.
Because half the fun of it is that they keep talking about basketball like it is the holiest of holies. It is an ancient fighting art. It is a knightly order. It's like they're talking about samurai or things like that.
Well, I think what it is...
I mean, that's the joke.
Yeah, what it is, and I don't remember if I just imagined this in a fever dream or not.
Yeah.
The whole plot of 2, and this I know is true, is that Hoops has lost his memory for 2. Like that's the whole thing, is that he doesn't remember.
Yeah.
But the third game, which I'm not sure if it's true, is going to be a 3D action RPG in the style of Nier and other actual RPGs like Bayonetta.
Yeah.
So it might be that 2 is going to be a shooter focused game, and the end of that is he remembers his basketball heritage for 3, in which he becomes the basketball Jesus figure that he was born to be.
I do like that they almost never refer to it as basketball. It's almost always b-ball.
Oh, yeah.
Which adds more to the JRPG thing where it's this was translated from Japanese and then they're using this word to save characters or something like that.
To add to its canon.
And it is canon.
It is canon.
Do you know why they say that?
Because 1, it is.
Yeah.
2, it is canon within the extended mythology.
Well, no, I mean, do you know why what that joke came from?
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
yeah.
lay on me.
Apparently, there was an awkward phrase in the Wikipedia article for Space Jam that's questioned whether the movie was canon. And the guys who made the game were like, well, do they mean canon within the Looney Tunes or canon within the Michael Jordan's life? And it all just snowballed from there.
Oh, yeah.
So they had to put that in.
Yeah. I guess that's a good question. Why aren't the Looney Tunes in this game?
Well, I think they probably would have had more copyright issues if they
I mean, there's a lot of copyright
There's
infringement.
a lot of copyright infringement.
There's a lot of fucking copyright infringement in this game. A big part of why it's such a touchstone is that the largest meme going around in the aughts, I think, was Welcome to the Space Jam as a musical meme.
Oh, man.
And
I never... Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I never thought that fucking song would get me pumped up for a dramatic moment.
Yeah.
Especially when Pat fucks it up. There's this great moment where you defeat Michael Jordan and all of a sudden the Space Jam song starts playing. I think it's kind of a remix. And Pat and Liam and me are like, oh yeah, shit's about to go down. And then Pat went down to save and it stopped the song. And they're both like, you ruined the moment, Pat. You ruined it. And then it plays on later on, but yeah.
For me, sort of a similar moment is literally that fight you are talking about, where you walk into what seems like the final boss room fight, and it's just a giant basketball court. And a light turns on, and it's Michael Jordan, your Lancer antagonist for this entire game. And he talks about how like the lack of b-ball has made him go mad.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely nuts. And he's like, "Sweet Georgia Brown."
Yes.
I can hear it now,
Yeah.
Barkley. You're like, okay, you're crazy. We're going to fight. And so that entire fight, Sweet Georgia Brown is playing.
And it's done so deeply ironically. And yet it works really well as a dramatic moment. And the game expects you to take it as ridiculous. But it goes all the way around again in some ways.
I think going aside slightly, or going back to that trend we have on our show is Jacob and Sam like this very, very deeply problematic thing. But we really love it, though.
I don't know if it's like super duper problematic. I just think it's like, it's a product of edgy 2000s humor.
But like I would say that this is as bad as Redline.
I don't think it's as bad as Redline.
Really?
Yeah, I think Redline is probably a little
Worse?
Yeah.
All right.
I think Redline wears it on its sleeve a bit more.
Okay.
But also Redline, the problematic elements are very endemic to the genre that it's doing.
Yeah, okay.
Which is 70s like, you know, cartoons and things. I'd have to think about that. That's a question that I can't answer in this space of time. That's for the sages, my friend. So
that'll be our question to the audience.
That'll be a question to the audience. We'll see how that goes. So, on a scale of jam to slam, I'll give it a slam.
That's high.
That's high, yes. That's good. Yeah. That's good.
It is time to slam now.
And I think I liked it more for being a Let's Play, like where I had these two guys take me along on the journey that they were having.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably more interesting to me than playing the game.
Oh, yeah. Like it's...
Because you haven't played the game, right?
No. It's a case where there is not enough there to get you through the lulls.
Yeah.
But Liam and Pat are very good at filling the lulls with the relationship that they had.
Why break our hearts? It's funny. You told me to skip the battles and stuff. I watched everything.
Yeah.
I watched the whole way through.
Well, what I said was you don't have to.
No, I know, yeah. But it was actually interesting to watch them play the game. Cause,
also, there were a lot of jokes in those fights.
Yeah. Moving right along.
We slammed.
We jammed. Jamicite, Slamicite. Every time they talk about this horse shit, it's just amazing. Anyway.
Sam. What'd you make me watch?
I made you watch another Let's Play by another guy from, I think he's from Montreal, Raocow, aka Samuel Tanguay, playing the indie video game An Untitled Story. So, Jacob, tell us about that. Keeping in mind you will be punished.
Wait, why should I keep that? Can I say anything then? Can I just lie?
I just wanted to turn that screw a little harder.
Untold Story is actually a very beautiful game about fear. You play at first as an egg, and eventually after you sort of like begin to sort of master your movements as like a rolling object. Yeah. It's a 2D game. It's in the style of...
It's like a platformer.
It's almost like a Mario.
Yeah.
You become a little bird person, and you begin exploring the world as a little bird person. And you sort of grow and learn to gain these powers to help you explore more and more. And part of the big sort of plot premise is someone has stolen away the sun.
Yeah.
And they're bad for doing that, and everyone deserves the sun. And the game ends with this very, actually genuinely touching moment of after you beat the boss. Yeah. Of like, look at you. You've done so much that you don't need the sun. The sun's in you.
The sun's in you.
You are bright. Now go forward realizing you haven't beaten fear, but you've become better than it. And you are more beautiful for it. And it's very touching and beautiful. The art style's a bit clumsy.
It's kind of intentionally so.
Yeah. It's childish, but like MS Paint childish.
Yeah.
Which has some charm and has some not so charm to it. The problem is I'm on this beautiful journey with Raocow.
Do we want to explain Raocow a little bit before we go into this?
Yeah. Right. So, Sam, I'm not a novice to Raocow.
No.
When I went into this, I remembered fondly watching Raocow play Cat Planet, Cat Planet, Cat Planet.
Cat Planet, Cat Planet, Cat Planet.
A beautiful game about collecting cats on a cat planet. God, he's so bad. He's so bad at this game. He's really bad. I don't know if he's worse than me. I don't know about that, but I'm backseat gaming every other fucking episode.
I love this.
I'm just sitting there being like, go right. Don't jump left. Go right. Oh wow, I guess I can't. I don't know if I got the right power. Guess I'm gonna have to go explore the map more. Oh my god.
I walked by Jacob's room and I heard a snippet of, come on, Raocow. Come on, Raocow.
You can do it, Raocow, please.
You can do it.
Please.
See, it's interesting that Jacob found this very frustrating because in some ways the charm of Raocow is watching him play video games badly.
Explain yourself.
Well, ask me the question. You have to ask me the question.
Why do you like this piece of shit?
Well, for all the reasons that you talked about, why the game is very charming, and because I like Raocow. It's funny. I don't really watch Let's Plays, apparently like Jacob does, for really precision platforms.
Well, okay.
Okay. I like Raocow because he has a very whimsical sense of humor. His accent is hilarious, and he's just a genuinely nice guy. Like, there is not a mean bone in Raocow's body, except when he gets angry and starts speaking French.
I am not usually
Yes.
a person who gets mad when people play games wrong. I don't think I invest enough for that to really matter. The problem is that takes up a significant ratio of what I'm watching.
And Jacob told me why he did this, but I'm going to lay this out for the audience. I told him he didn't have to watch the whole thing. Just watch.
I want you to watch all of Charles Barkley's Shop and J.M. Gaiden. I had to watch all this.
No, you told me I didn't need to watch the whole thing. I chose on my own volition to watch the whole thing.
Because you would be inspired by me.
No, because I enjoyed it. And you did it out of bloody-mindedness.
I am committed.
Jacob claims that
I give so much to this show. Do you want some of my blood, you fucking parasite?
This is the part where This is the part where I play back the part where you admit that you do nothing on this podcast, and it's mostly me. Jacob claims that
I watched all of it for you. The drugs, the money, the sex. It was all for you, Sam.
It's all for you, Damien. Jacob claims that he was trying to see if it got better, if Raocow learned from his mistakes, and apparently he never does. I've got to admit that
Why is that so much funnier?
I don't know. I admit that maybe this was not quite the right one to do for
Apparently it's his best.
Well, people,
says you.
I think what it is that people, supposedly people think this is his best Let's Play. And I think people really like...
Cat Planet's the best
Well,
one.
yeah, it's on a different level. I think people just really love the game because it is such a charming game. And it might just be I don't remember him being that bad at it. Or maybe I'm just not good at perceiving,
Maybe I was in a bad mood. Maybe
mood.
it just set me off.
You know what I should have had you watch? Well, although I think you've already seen... a playthrough of Cuphead.
Oh, he does Cuphead?
He does get back to the mic. He does Cuphead.
He does Cuphead?
Yeah. It's a really good. And he's good at it. Like, he gets through it pretty fast.
I'm sure that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Well, and Untitled...
I've seen Cuphead, though, is the thing.
Yeah. Untitled Story is actually quite old. Like, I watched that at least 7 years ago, maybe more. So maybe his gaming is
Maybe
improved.
part of this is that this was a sort of important Let's Play for you when you were much younger. Sitting on Raocow's knee.
It's funny, it wasn't though. Like, I've seen a lot of his Let's Plays, and that was the one I just thought, well, okay, so here's the thing about Raocow. He's really known for being a Mario hack Let's Player, and some of them have been actually custom made for him. And indeed, there is an entire game that is a Super Mario World hack that uses a lot of his characters from the comic he writes. He's an artist in his day job. And that one's really funny too. And maybe it's just he's better at Mario stuff.
Does he do any Super Mario Maker stuff?
I don't know if he has. Like, I kind of come in and out on him, so I don't know.
Yeah, that feels like such a gimme.
Yeah, I think he's talked about that, but I don't
Yeah.
know. He also does, which I keep meaning to watch, an actual play Mario RPG, not Mario RPG the game, like an RPG set in Mario World with some of his friends, and they're playing like police officers in the Mushroom Kingdom, and he's a Reznor. Where like the rhinoceros, Ceratops things in World named after Trent Reznor. I have not listened to any of it. I just know it exists.
I know this is not a visual medium.
Jacob's giving me some side eye here. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
I've given you so much joy.
No. Tell me, answer the question. Don't go on one of your rants. Tell me why you think that's stupid.
Because it's fucking stupid.
You are the master of hating premises. I think, as enemy of the podcast, Jesse Cowell said, if you give Jacob a premise, he will either mock it or detest it. Now, whether he actually likes it or not in the end, that remains to be seen. But Jacob is the premise shitter.
Why do you make me hurt?
Because it's really fun.
I love you. God damn it.
All right, carrying on.
So, I think for me, a big part of why this didn't get me as much as perhaps it did you once upon a time is the game is more fundamentally interesting to me than Raocow.
Oh, that's okay.
Raocow is not enhancing my experience.
Yeah, okay.
He's detracting
There you
from
go.
it.
Yeah, okay. That's
like,
fair.
Basically, the number of times I'm like, I wish I was just playing this.
Yeah.
Was higher than, man, Raocow's really funny.
Yeah.
And it's that rare exception of like, he was playing badly enough that if that sensation of like, just give me the controller.
That kicked in hardcore.
That kicked in hardcore for me when it usually doesn't. Because usually when people are playing bad, it's like, you're so funny though. Mm-hmm. Whereas Raocow doesn't do it for me.
So what I needed to give you was a lesser game that he's playing.
Well, actually, any Mario game, probably. Because I'm terrible at Mario.
Yeah.
I'm too young. I'm
Yeah.
too much of a baby.
Okay. I'll remember this. We may have to revisit Raocow because I feel like there's something
Jesus
there.
Christ. All right.
I'm curious, was
I
there...
should just fucking like make you play Fortnite or something ridiculous like that.
Jesus.
Just have that.
Please,
on your
God,
conscience.
no. I'm curious, did you find any of his commentary kind of fun, or was it just spoiled by this kind of yammering?
His accent also isn't as charming to me as it is to you.
It gets thicker depending on how wacky he gets, I think.
Yeah. Because in Cat Planet, everything's crazy.
Yes.
Everything's a delight.
See, there's an interesting arc that he went through where once he got into his groove, he really went out of his way to be really intentionally wacky and kind of play up the accent. And eventually that falls away and it's a little more like...
Real.
Not real exactly. Like he's never going to be like a really serious Let's Player, but it becomes a little more fluid and less like, as he refers to it, his monkey cheese outlook.
I'm just trying to imagine like Raocow playing like one of the Telltale games, like a serious game.
Oh, yeah.
And just being like, oh, wow, I guess I have to murder this boy. Oh, that must be terrible. I'm making him sound like Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, it gets a little Tommy Wiseau.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah.
So if I was going to give
Yes.
this Let's Play of an Untitled story a number, it would be a small number out of a much larger number.
Without being too specific. So game better than the actual Let's Play.
I think if you like platformers, it's dated as hell and clunky as shit, but give an Untitled Story a try. I think you will find it kind of a cool, rewarding experience.
Oh, yeah.
If you're willing to like get deep in the pain.
I like that the one time I kind of thought I was meeting you on your level just completely backfired.
That happens every single fucking time.
It absolutely does not. There's so many things I've given you that I do not.
It's never a dull moment.
It's never a dull moment. So on that note, this is the first episode of Letter E.
Eggsellent.
I hate that might be it. How does it relate to Barkley? And I know why, but just say it out loud.
No, I want you to say it.
It's because Hoops is born from an egg.
Sure. I'll take that. I was actually going for it's the level of humor in a Barkley game.
God damn. All right, we're starting with a pun. This is not foretelling good things about Season E.
I think it is. I think it's done great things.
Or do we just want to make it eggs? No? You
No,
want excellent?
excellent.
All right.
Because it also excludes excellent.
Yes, it does. All right. Well,
Get 2 of those words right off. Get them out of here. Done.
2 for the price of 1.
Yeah.
This is probably the most common theme one we've ever had because it's 2 sets of Canadian Let's Players from Quebec.
Where's the E word in there?
I don't know. I find that interesting.
Yeah.
So, Jacob, what are you going to make me do next time?
We do have to save the punishment for last, don't we?
Yes.
Sam, in line with me continuing to give you relatively problematic shit,
Oh, no.
you are going to watch the Quentin Tarantino, not directed, but he's in it as an actor, for real this time, Sukiyaki Western Django.
Okay.
A movie that exists.
I have heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It features my favorite line in any movie.
Well, don't spoil it for me.
I kind of want to, because it's...
Spoil it for me off camera, because
Yeah.
then we'll talk about it
Sure.
next time. Okay.
Because without context, it's even funnier.
Okay. Can we talk about your constraint that you're giving yourself for Season E?
No.
Now, I want to talk about the constraint you're giving yourself for Season E.
All right, you tell me, what's the constraint I'm giving myself in Season E?
Jacob's not allowed to give me anime this season.
You make it sound like it's a rule that you're...
No, it's a rule that Jacob has imposed on himself. But I think I have expressed it accurately in that Jacob is not allowed to give me anime this season.
You know,
Jacob will be punished this week for his hubris. For
Fucking what is
for
it?
his
Tell
breaking
me.
of- his breaking of the rules. I was trying to think of a lot of high concept bullshit to make you do, but I ultimately decided to go with something maybe a little more like radio friendly. Something we can all enjoy. You will be watching the first movie I ever really hated. The 2000s, I believe, remake of 13 Ghosts.
Okay.
I detest it, and you're going to watch it.
Is this like Ronan the Ghost-Faced Killer?
I don't know what that means.
Great.
We'd like to thank Irritating Rainbow for the use of our theme song, You Broke It, from the album Where'd the Truck Go? You can find that link in the description. I've got that spiel down so much I have hand gestures for it.
Is this
now.
like that movie 7 Deadly Sins, but it's 13 Ghosts?
No.
Is it like Memento?
No.
Wait, is this like And Then There Were None, but they're ghosts?
No.
Is this like...
That's a pretty good final thought, I think.